Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new episode on the BMW 5 Series. So I haven't had this car on the channel for a while, although I have had it back. I've been busy getting some other bits and pieces done, and in this episode what I want to do is take care of all the remaining things that we've got to do on the car and get this one finished. So I have got a code in the offside front headlight. We had to replace what's called the TMS module. When it was over at the body shop, they noticed that the halo or angel eyes were flickering on that. So we need to, we've put an aftermarket one in there, and I need to see if I can code that in. I'm not very good with that sort of stuff, but we'll see how we get on. If not, I may look at just getting a genuine one and teaching that in, and that will take care of that. We're going to have a look at some of the leather interior and see if we can sort out that. It's just got some sort of fading and marks on that, so we're going to see if we can take care of that as well. There's a few other bits and pieces. I need to give it a real good clean so I can show you what it looks like when it is done, and also we need to get it back to BMW for some recalls. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to replace this inner door handle here. So it's got like a sort of gel cushion or pad inside there, and I think over time that's just got all contaminated with oil and grease and grime, and it is absolutely disgusting, and it ends up leaving a horrible film on your hands. So I've already gone ahead and got myself a new one. So what I'm going to look at doing is popping that door card off so I can gain access to some of the screws and bits and pieces and the clips that hold this thing on, and then we can get that replaced looking all nice and fresh. I'm just going ahead now and just unplugging all of the little plugs here for the lights, for the mirror switches and the speakers inside the door as well, just so I can release the door card. Just pop that in there. Now that the door card's off, I've just laid it in the boot. I've got myself a couple of floor mats here just to avoid scratching or damaging any of it. So we've got three little what look like probably T25 or T20 Torx bits that hold that handle onto the door card itself. So I'm going to go ahead and pop them off. There's just a fourth screw hidden behind that bit of tape that holds the wiring on there. So just want to be careful not to mark anything. I'll take that out. So as you can see in there, that's that one. It's disgusting. To get the window switch out, you just got a load of little plastic clips. You just want to gently pry off, then you can just pop that out there. And for the new one, just going to click that into place, like so. And then what we'll do is we'll just pop that back into the door card, do all of those screws up that hold it in place, and pop it back on the door. As you can see with the seat itself, we've got quite a lot of fading here, along here, in the corners here, there's a bit there of sort of damage. There's another section on here, and then again on the door card is quite worn. So I have got some colour match leather paint here, and what I'm going to look at doing is giving the seat a real good deep clean, degrease and get any grime off of it before I look at painting it or using this stuff. But what I am going to do is test it. So what I thought I could do is pull this piece out, and on here but on the opposite side where you don't see it, I'm just going to do a small patch there, leave that 24 hours to dry, check that that colour match is okay, and if it is, then we can look at doing the rest of the seat. I've just finished applying the first coat, so it's all in different stages of drying at this point. I started off here, so it does look terrifying at the moment because it's all different colours where it's drying through. And for those people looking at the screen now thinking, why on earth didn't you take the seat out? I completely agree. I've spent the last 45 minutes, half an hour, asking myself the same question. So I probably will let this dry and either take the seat back out, or it's a lesson learned for next time. I'll see how this coat looks afterwards and if I need to apply another one. So I'm just going to put some gentle heat on it now overall, and then leave that 3 or 4 hours to dry, and we'll see what it looks like. It is starting to look quite nice along the bottom here. It's starting to match in quite nicely, but as I say, this lot at the moment looks quite scary, if I'm honest. I've now done what I should have done in the first place, which was to take the seat right out, and it's going to make life much easier, albeit that I have had to partially strip the seat down. I think that way it will just give me a better finish at the end of it, and as I mentioned, I should have done it earlier. So you've got the 4 mounting bolts that hold it on. I disconnect the battery on these, but I do lift the seat up slightly first so I can get the seat belt pre-tensioner off the seat rail. Then I can get the connector off. The 4 bolts, as I mentioned, they come off, pull the seat out. I've taken this back cover off. There's 2 poppers or trim clips that you just pull out here, and then you just lift the cover up and then pull it back. There's a cover on this side and the same on this side. They're held on by sort of part of the plastic bit itself, and then also some pot rivets. So I've just drilled the pot rivets out. We can replace those, that's not a problem. Taken the headrest out as well, so you just pull the headrest out. There's a clip in the top of one of these that you just need to pull out, and then from the underside here there's 2 plastic little tabs on these that you just push in, and then that allows you to sort of move them gently out of the leatherette or the leather, and then just pull them up and out. And I have just put a glove over this because I don't want to get any paint or anything on that. So now that's going to allow me to basically completely dye the entire seat leather without having any patches, hopefully, or potentially just catching any of the trims or anything with the paint. So I'm going to clean the areas here where the cover has been for some time. That's just left some marks there, and then I'm going to recover the entire seat with this paint, and then just build it up from there. It's now been 24 hours since we first applied the paint to the seat. Once I'd finished coating the complete seat with the paint, I then just gently warmed it with the hairdryer, and then I've left it overnight in the garage to dry. And I tell you what, it is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm really impressed with that. I took the decision obviously to paint the entire seat because we had quite a lot of wear on various places of it, and I think just doing it overall has obviously not caused me any colour match issues. I know that we did test a little bit, but I think where the leather is obviously worn in different places, we may well have had some discrepancies. So I think, yeah, it was sensible to do it all in one go, and it was a sensible option to take it out eventually. I should have done that in the first place. It would have made life a lot easier, but you live and learn. What I'm going to do now is clean all the panels that I've taken off, pop all those back on. I will show you a close-up of the seat so you can have a good look at the finish, and also what I'll do is try and put a before and after picture so you can look at that as well. Once I've put all the trims back on, I can then get it back in the car, and I'll probably need to reset the fault codes because I've had the battery on and off, and we've got the seat unplugged, which has got all the seatbelt retentioners, so I'm going to need to reset those as well. $20 million crayon. So I've had a real good look around the car. Everything seems to be pretty good. These bushings here in this arm there, they are starting to deteriorate. So I do need to keep an eye on those. There's no play in them there, but I just need to keep an eye on those. Potentially look at replacing them in the future. So we just had a quick look all round here now that we've got all the trays off. Doesn't seem to be any oil leaks, which is good. All the engine mounts and stuff are okay. As I mentioned, the fuel filter itself is just tucked up under there, so we need to look at replacing that. And then if we jump to the back of the car, if we just have a good look over the back of the car here, everything again, there's a little bit of surface corrosion, nothing too much to worry about. Need to check the diff level here. We are going to whip all the wheels off and have a good look round at the brakes and stuff like that as well. But yeah, everything under here seems to be in reasonably good condition. That bushing there at the top left hand side of the diff here, just if we go up into here at the very top there, I don't know if you can see, it's just starting to split, so we do need to look at replacing that. So I will get one of those, and then that just mounts to the diff just up the back there. So yeah, we do need to look at replacing that one. Probably clean that anti-roll bar off, give that a bit of paint. But yeah, generally speaking, everything looks to be in reasonably good condition. Exhaust there, that looks to be all right. And then again, all up in here. And just like that, we fitted the new bushing. It turns out that this bolt here, there is actually a nut on the other side, so you can undo that, pull that bolt right out, and then you can lower the diff just enough to get like a bush pulling tool. So you've got a threaded bar that goes through and different size cups. And then what I was able to do was put a larger cup right round the circumference of this, and then pull the bushing out, and then flip it round and obviously drive the bushing the other way using the tool. And then we've just done this bolt up, put a bit of grease on there. We'll give this a bit of a clean, and that's all sorted now. flip the oil filter out. I'm just going to... So I've actually ended up taking out the whole airbox assembly complete, so then I could give it all a real good clean. The pipe that goes down to the turbo as well, I was able to give all of that a real good clean, just get any of the dirt and debris out of there. So what I can do is refit that, but just before I do that, I'm going to have a good look round in the engine bay down there. Before that goes back in, pop the filter back in, put all of this lot back together, and then that's the air filter done. And on to the next bit. We've taken care of the inside and now we've taken care of the outside. We put a layer of the snow seal on after we finished washing the car. We've dried it all off and we put some tyre dressing on there as well. And I think you'll agree with me, it looks absolutely fantastic. So now we've got to head over to BMW to get those recalls sorted. So let's jump in the car and make our way over there. So we're now on our way over to the dealers. I've just been and got some fuel because there's nothing more annoying as a technician than when you drop or have a customer's car and it's got no fuel in it. So we're on our way over to Group 1 BMW. It's been a couple of weeks since I put the car in because the driver's airbag was on back order. So we're having a driver's airbag replaced, the EGR cooler I believe, and some software updates in the engine control unit. Off camera I have also replaced two of the front suspension arms, where those particular arms bolt up to the front struts or the front suspension. I was finding that where those bushes had worn slightly, there wasn't any play in them, but you could see the rubber parts of the bushings peeling away from the inner sleeve. When you were going over bumps there was a slight squeak, and I wanted to get rid of that and just make sure that the car is all good. It drives really, really nice. It is a really, really nice car, and I'm so pleased with where we've got to with this one. We are coming to a close. We've got to get those recalls done, give it a final once over and make sure we're happy. And then what we can do is give you some final footage of the car all finished. Little M3 competition tucked in there. Nice approved used M4. 28 grand that one. A nice one there. Look at that. So I've now picked the car up from BMW. I dropped it off on the Friday and the plan was that they were supposed to have it for the day, but unfortunately when they were doing some of the recalls they had an issue with some of the flash updates and coding on the combi unit. So they gave me a call and basically said we're going to try and see if we can get it sorted. They weren't able to do that, so the long and short of it is I've ended up having to have a new combi unit, but as luck would have it I haven't had to pay for that. That was all covered under the recall process and stuff like that. So they've now sorted all of that out, which is fantastic because there obviously was an underlying issue there. I wasn't able to turn the service light out on the car and I've been able to do that now. And also we weren't able to see the time on the dashboard or on the iDrive display either. So they've managed to replace that, and now we're all good from that side of things, which is brilliant. And they've taken care of all of those other bits. We also got the complimentary health check when the car was there. So they've checked all of the brakes and tyres, suspension and stuff like that, and they've given us the all clear. So now the next thing is just to wrap this car up and show you what it looks like now that it's all done. Look at this thing. It looks absolutely amazing now. I could not be happier with the finish on it. The paintwork has turned out fantastic and it looks like absolute glass. We've also had the wheels redone, and if I'm honest, I've probably overspent on this one. I paid a bit too much money, I think, for it in the beginning, but by the time that we added up all of those bits that we needed on the front, like the headlights, the crash sensors, the bumper, all of the paintwork and all of those bits and pieces, it really did get quite costly. So you've just got to be mindful of that when you are buying these cars, just to consider how much you're probably going to put into the thing as well. I had to put some tyres on the back. I've put some suspension arms on the front. It's had rear pads, it's had front pads and discs on there. It's had an MOT, it's had a full service, the suspension bushing on the back and various other bits and pieces around the car. We managed to get the interior sorted as well, so both the exterior and the interior on this thing are looking absolutely fantastic. I've got one thing left to do on the car, which is to sort out that TMS module. So I've got all of that now plugged in. I just need to get that coded and then we should be all good there. So I really hope that you've enjoyed watching these videos on this BMW, and we shall see you on the next one.